What up, and welcome back to the Kraken Cans Podcast, the podcast we talk all things cryptid, all things urban legends, and all things just a little bit spooky. I'm Mike, joined here by Corey.
With an E.
With an E. I was going to remember to say that today.
I'm just making sure it was in there.
Yeah, with an E. And if it's your first time here, how you doing? If it's like your, 39th time here, 38th, 9th, something like that. 40th, maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Welcome back. And if you haven't left us a 5-star review yet on this cast, what the hell are you even doing?
Get her done.
And make sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and go subscribe to our channel on YouTube. And you subscribe on TikTok? Is that what you do?
You just
follow. Okay, follow on TikTok. Yeah, because we're pumping out some fun short content. And I didn't talk to you yet, but I have some good ideas for some short content we could do coming up. So, Corey, I wanted to ask you something before we dove into the episode today.
Ooh, okay. I wanted to ask you something, too.
All right, how's your cholesterol looking?
Oh, I don't know. I got to get around here
That's
to...
not good.
I got to get around here to schedule a follow-up appointment to see where our numbers are at.
Yeah, it's typically not good when you go,
Hopefully they're lower.
Not good.
But anything but higher, it's a win.
Yeah, even, we'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take a par.
What do you want to ask me? I feel like you just already forgot that.
No,
Oh, okay.
Have you seen like the trend right now with like the 100 silverback gorillas versus? Or no, sorry. Just can we scratch that?
No, let's hear it.
100 men versus one silverback gorilla in a fight. The men are not armed, anything like that. Who's gonna win?
I feel so. If you're just taking average men,
just grabbing 100 fellas,
like me and you, just 100 of us.
Yeah,
I think we could overwhelm a gorilla by just sheer number. Now, if you're talking like 20 men versus a gorilla. But I think just sheer numbers, like we can just like all just dive on top of him.
Yeah, I'm thinking, the first dozen and a half,
At least,
they're done. Like their heads are
done,
ripped off.
But yeah, I'm thinking we can, and there's a chance that we can just outsmart a gorilla, maybe. So
you ever see Planet of the Apes?
Well, yeah,
those fellows are smart.
They are smart. They also throw their own poop.
They do.
So they're funny. And I like a guy that's smart and funny.
They just be throwing that poop, blinding all the men.
Yeah. But I would think 100 men. I wonder what the number for how many men it would take for me to change my mind and make the gorilla the winner. Like if we started subtracting, like I think 90. I think around maybe like 60 would be where my mind would start to change a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think 100 men. I think take down a gorilla, and 350,000 women will take down a gorilla, and that's my low number on that one. So anyways,
that's your low. All right,
that's my low.
We want to hear your comments.
Yeah,
because that's like the new trend, and when this comes out, this trend's already going to be over. This question's gone.
Yeah, but we're gonna look like just idiots at it. It's like, man, these guys are freaking dweebs that can't even keep up with trends.
Yeah,
don't they know the new trend is how many lizards can you fit in your butt?
Yeah. The answer is 5.
Oh, I was going to say 12, but yeah, 5 sounds better. 5 sounds safer. So, Corey, we're going down south this episode, aren't we?
We are.
Not in a sexual way.
I was going to say not like Louisiana South.
Yeah, not Louisiana, which you haven't talked in any southern accent today. I'm a little bit disappointed.
Oh, it'll come out.
No, I know it will.
Once I get my mouth moving, it's coming out.
We're going down south, and Corey's mouth is moving. Look out. But yeah, we're going to Mexico? Or are we going further south?
Yeah, Mexico and Colombia.
Okay, so we're going further south.
Yeah, and some other little Latin America places.
Yeah, I like it. What place? Another place we haven't been. This is back-to-back weeks. We're going places we've never been. We spent all this time in the U.S., a little bit of time in Ireland, then we just went to Japan and now Mexico.
Yeah.
We're
getting around.
Yeah, we are. What beer we got?
The beer for today.
There it is.
There she be. Is The Pursuit Coastal Exploration. It's a hazy IPA from New Trail and Dewey Beer. So it's a collab. We've done several New Trail beers so far on the cast.
It's our numero uno, isn't it?
For New Trail?
Yeah, like our turn. Yeah, as far as breweries that we've done, New Trail's number 1, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like the most. Yeah.
Like one or two more than, I guess, Trogs would be second.
Trogs.
And that dude, that's like 1 and 2 for my favorite breweries right now.
Absolutely. I'll say it again.
New Trail literally like pumps out a new beer every week and a half. It seems like they have a new beer there. I had Roxylvania, I think it's called. Solid. You should get that one. That one's good.
But again, they're out of Williamsport, PA, and they're banger, just straight banger of a brewery. And like I've said many times in the cast before, like I think in Pennsylvania it's Trogs, obviously at the top as far as like craft beers. I mean, obviously you got Yuengling and stuff like that, but
but like for us around where we're at, Yuengling is not a craft beer to me.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm saying like Yuengling's. Yeah. Maybe to some people it is. But
like,
I
think it may be different parts. People would consider like Yuengling a craft, but
no, that's just a domestic beer. So I think New Trail's at the top, or not New Trail, sorry, Trogs at the top. New Trail's right below them.
I could even rank them as like a 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
I won't be upset with that.
I get behind that.
Yeah.
So this beer, like I said, is a hazy IPA. It is 6.5% alcohol. And you can get notes of tropicals, undercurrents of rich stone fruit. The reason I picked this beer is, so today we're doing the hairy hand, which is like a ghostly apparition hand that,
I thought it was Bigfoot's hand.
Bigfoot, I mean,
damn it.
Maybe.
Just a knuckle dragger.
Just a knuckle dragger. So I picked the Pursuit because, as we're going to go over in some of these stories, this ghostly apparition hand is in pursuit of people that it wants to kill and murder. So I thought it was a good beer to pick because it seems like this hand is always on the pursuit, looking for its next victim. So although it's not in the pursuit of a, coastal exploration, it is in the pursuit of some human flesh.
You didn't say it like like when you like
taste for human flesh. Yeah,
I like when you say it like that.
Yeah, so that's why I picked this Brewski right here.
Awesome. And can I say that when we were kind of looking it up before we started, there's a Pursuit. Like the Dewey Beer Company has a Pursuit of their own that's a collaboration with New Trail, but that's called Early Migration, I think I said it was.
Something like that.
Yeah. And different alcohol, so different beer, I assume. I mean.
So do you think it was like kind of reversed? Like this one's like the Pursuit coastal exploration. It's like New Trail, being
it goes to the coast.
PA,
and I think it's like
coast.
Dewey Beer, Early Migration, migrating inland or whatever. Yeah.
Which if that's how it is, that's freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's like a fun play on the words. But yeah. So let's try this baby.
Yeah.
Or just continue to try it.
You don't gotta tell me twice. I'll keep sipping.
It tastes like fart. No, I'm just kidding. It's good. I don't know. What do you say? It's like this is like a stereotypical good hazy.
Yeah.
It's a good New England hazy. It's delicious.
Nice summertime sipping
Yeah, it's
beer.
got that nice tropical, like I want to sit on a beach and just hammer like 14 of these.
Yeah, I might do that.
And have my wife yell at me. You know what I like? You know what I like to have at the beach? I like to rock a twisted tea at the beach because they just go down.
I don't like tea.
Yeah, I like them. Yeah. I like the twisted teas.
So at the beach, my favorite thing to make is so years ago, my wife and I went to Atlantic City to the Land Shark Bar and Grill there, and I don't know if they still have it because this was probably 10 years ago.
I actually think they're building a new one.
Are they?
Or they're building an additional one. I just saw something on YouTube yesterday about it. Because I follow Atlantic City closely because I love that place.
So I think it was called like the Shark Tank or something, where it was like half Land Shark beer, half like margarita mix, and then they put like the salt on the brim.
Yeah.
And like I started making that shit on vacations after that, and like that's one of my favorite drinks to make on vacation.
That was pretty solid.
And I know like I slammed like probably 5 or 6 of them while we were there, I remember, and then like her and I went out in the ocean. And dude,
he pooped his pants.
I did not poop my pants, but I could tell you I was feeling it.
Yeah.
Like, and then I remember her parents her mom was yelling to her dad, like, you better go out there and check on them. So the next thing I know, he's out there with us, and we're just jumping around.
He's just carrying in. I got him!
Yeah. Because, I mean, we were probably like, 22, 23.
Yeah.
But.
Many moons ago.
Yeah. But no, that's like, honestly, that's like one of my, like, core memories, like, with her was, like, going to that Land Shark.
I have to watch
grill.
it using, like, margarita mix, because they use that, like, sour mix, and that, like, messes with my gut sometimes. Like, it gives me really bad, like, indigestion and heartburn.
I always get the Jose Cuervo. Sorry.
I thought it was Josie Cuervo.
Jose Cuervo. I got to get these.
As we're going to Mexico.
I know. I was going to say, I got to get these pronunciations down.
You're starting out so good.
Fuck. We're fucked. But anyway.
Yeah. So you ready? You ready to get into the episode?
Let's get it on.
Let's do it. All right, Corey. I have absolutely. When you say hairy hand, you know what that reminds me of? Did you ever see the movie Idle Hands?
No.
It's like a comedy movie where a guy's like hand is basically trying to kill him, so he cuts it off. But it's like a comedy horror movie.
Oh, okay.
It's a good one. I had an idea. And I'm going to throw this out there to the people right now. I know I'm rambly today, but anyways,
it's good.
I thought it would be fun to have a movie night with everybody. And I've been looking into and I'm pretty sure we're allowed to do it as long as you're doing it on like a private server type thing. I don't know. Other podcasts do it.
Yeah.
But basically where we could do it either on a Discord or we could set up some kind of like private room. And we could watch stream a movie and watch it, and like we could just kind of talk and chat through it. And I thought Idle Hands would be a perfect one for us to do because it's got like Seth Green and stuff in it.
I wonder if because Kendra was telling me about like some movie where there was like a hand going around trying to kill people or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's that one.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's got I can't think what the guy. I have it pulled up right here because I wanted to get the guy's name. Devin Sawa. I don't know. The name doesn't sound familiar, but he was in like a lot of stuff in like he was in the Final Destination, the original one.
Was it the blonde-haired kid, like the main dude?
Yes. Yeah. He's the one that he's the one that has the hand.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he was in like so much stuff.
I was just thinking the whole time I was like researching this one, I was just thinking of like the Addams Family.
Yeah, and
like
that's kind of how this movie is, but
Yeah.
like a demented hand. But it's the
Yeah.
same thing, you know. But yeah, sorry. I just when you first explained to me like this topic, that was the first thing that came to my head. And he ends up killing his like friends, but they come back as like zombie ghosts or something. I don't know. It's really, but they're just themselves. Like the one guy just has a bottle in his head, and the other one's just carrying around his head everywhere. But they're like totally there to help him, and they're still like totally. They're just it's one of those really ridiculous movies.
Yeah, that's cool. So let's talk about the legend of the hairy hand.
Hairy hand.
So La Mano Peluda, or the hairy hand, can be heard in some variety in pretty much every Latin American country. However, it is most common in Mexico and Colombia. The legend is said to have originated sometime in the 1800s to early 1900s when it was passed on through oral storytelling in Mexico.
Good save. Yeah, it's a good catch.
In Mexico and other Latin American countries.
I would have just assumed it was passed along through
Oral
hand
sex.
stuff. No, hand stuff,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah.
Goodness gracious. I meant like rock, paper, scissors, you
Oh,
pervert.
okay. I thought you meant like, never mind.
That's what I meant.
It became more well known in contemporary times in the 1990s thanks to a Mexican radio show titled La Mano Peluda, where folks would call in and talk about their ghost stories and paranormal encounters live on the show. And I'm not sure how much or how often this show, La Mano Peluda, talked about the actual La Mano Peluda legend, the hairy hand legend, but I know that they did talk about it at times on the show, but I don't know, like, how often, because obviously the show is named the same thing as...
Well, it's like our show being named after the Kraken.
Yeah.
Like the Kraken is like a cryptid and the legend.
Yeah.
It's kind of like our show's named after that,
Yeah.
but it's not what we talk about the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. So I can't say how much it was talked about, but I can say that just people being familiar with this name made this legend more popular.
That makes sense.
And known to like a wider audience.
So it was always a legend down there, but it was more of like a...
Just
it was a small legend,
Yeah.
but it got blown up through this radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Just like there is reason behind most urban legends, as they are created as a way to stop somebody from doing something. Like we
Hand
talked
jobs.
about with, Hookman and
Bunny Man.
Bunny
What we
Man.
assume with Bunny Man. and
Bunny
stuff,
Man, just
yeah.
like all of these other urban legends. We talk about like there's a reason that these urban legends are created to try to stop a certain, group of people or, whatever from doing something.
Always seems like it's kids.
Kids, yeah.
I feel like they're the ones that would fall for most just random urban legends.
Yeah.
Kids and me.
What's the difference?
Well, yeah, you're right. A lot of hair.
But not as much hair as me.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
La Mano
Barf.
Peluda was created to keep young children in their beds at night so that mommy and daddy could bang without little Juan interrupting.
Was that really? So it's just banging?
I mean, I don't know. That's just that's my
yeah.
thoughts. I threw that in there.
Yeah, they had no locks down in Mexico, so
No.
it was just crazy.
Yeah, just open door policy.
Oh man, I might have to use this legend then because my daughter came downstairs 3 times when I was trying to watch season 7 of Hell's Kitchen the other day.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
No.
Okay.
No, she just kept coming downstairs and bothering. And she does this thing where she walks in and she's just like, "What you doing?" It's like, "I'm watching TV. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
"Nothing." It's like, "Go back upstairs. It's your
Yeah.
bedtime." She does it at least once a week where she'll come down 6 times. And she smiles because she thinks it's not funny, but she doesn't know what else to do. So she just comes down covering her mouth. And it's like, get out of here.
Yeah. Well, that's like my oldest. I'll be playing PlayStation or watching TV in the living room, and he'll come running in, and he'll think it's the morning.
Mm-hmm.
He does it all the time, and I'm like, dude, it's it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Nope, not morning yet.
Yeah, my son, my middle son, he thinks when he goes down for a nap in the afternoon, when he wakes up, it's a new day.
Oh.
Every time. Because that's what I'll be like, "Oh, what'd you do in the morning?" "Well, yesterday I did this." It's like, same day, buddy. Same
Yeah,
day. It's
yeah.
been 45 minutes since you
Yeah,
were down
yeah.
here.
Parents would threaten their kids and tell them, if you do not stay in your bed, La Mano Peluda will get you. So essentially, this shit is like the boogeyman, but just his hand.
Just a hand. 2 hands or just 1 hand?
It's just one hand.
Okay.
Yeah, just one hand. Most versions of this legend state that a man was wrongfully accused of robbery sometime during the Spanish Inquisition, and his hand was chopped off. When this occurred, the man claimed that he was going to get revenge on everybody for this dirty deed. He lived a normal rest of his life and died from natural causes as he got older. Other versions state that when his hand was chopped off, he said he was going to get his revenge and was killed and buried in a cemetery, and the hand could be seen coming out of the ground and walking around seeking revenge due to him being treated unfairly.
Yo, I heard a scary story at Cub Scout camp the one day about a hand. So we were, it freaked me out. I remember, this is actually, I'm hitting a core memory from my childhood right now. I remember they told us a scary story about this hand. They referred to it as thump scratch because when the hand would move, it would be like thump with its fingernails. That's how it would move. So it was thump scratch. So I remember sitting there, and you're sharing a tent with I don't know, we're in 4th grade. I'm sharing the tent with another kid, and he just started doing the, and it's just like, "What is that?" And he goes, "I don't know." And dude, I ran out of the tent as fast as I could, and my dad was just there, and he's just like, "What the hell are you doing?" "Thump scratch." He goes, "Got a bed." Sent me right back in there. But yeah, that's what I always remember, thump scratch, because that was the noise it made.
Thump scratch.
So dumb. And I think the story was basically like the Hookman story, except instead of having a hook, he had his hand chopped off, so the hand just I don't know. It was weird. The story made no sense. I don't remember it. I just remember thump scratch.
Just so you know, folks, this was at a Jerry Sandusky camp.
This was a Cub Scout camp. This was not a football camp.
He volunteered.
Jerry Sandusky actually talked at my place where my mom worked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they paid him big bucks to come in there and talk. She said he was horrible. She was so annoyed when she came home that day. She said he just sucked. They paid some guy like 1/10 of the money as Sandusky, and he was 1,000 times better. But their boss just really wanted somebody from Penn State. That's all it really boiled down to.
Now we're going to talk about La Mano Peluda in Colombia.
Oh, so it's different in Colombia.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Okay,
there's
cool.
a couple different stories here, and the one that's going to be talked about in Mexico after this one is like my favorite. But we're gonna go over to Colombia one first, folks.
So the first part of this was
It's
just the
like
whole history of.
It's just like when you hear this story typically told in a lot of these Latin American countries, like it's based off of some variety of that typically.
Okay.
But then there's like a more specific one in Colombia and then in Mexico.
All right.
They're kind of more like specific.
I'm in.
So in Colombia, the version of this legend, the hand is described as being black, hairy, with long fingernails.
Oh man, that'd be gross. I figure they're like grody fingernails from having to walk around on them.
Ugh. Though these fingernails so in Colombia, the fingernails have poison at the tips. And the hand is twice as large as an average hand and can be seen with a bloody trail being left behind.
Like Andre the Giant hand coming at you.
Yeah, with just a freaking bloody trail just...
Yeah, so it's more like a stump than it is a hand.
Yeah.
'Cause I like you said, Adam's Family, where it's like upright walking like that. This thing's just like dragging.
Yeah, I just picture just dragging.
Thumb scratch, man. Thumb scratch.
Yeah. It's also said that maggots can be seen moving around on the dead, severed hand.
All right, kind of gross, but...
Yeah. The legend states that the hand waits under children's beds and will jump out and grab a hold of the kids' feet and take them down to the underworld if they get out of bed.
Good God.
Yeah.
And you don't sleep in bed with your feet hanging off the side.
Oh, hell no.
That is scary.
I still don't do that.
I don't either.
Oh.
Like, I'm 34 years old,
Yeah.
and there's, I'll have my foot out, and it'll be so comfortable, and it's just like, this is so dumb, but it could happen.
Yeah,
so I just slide it back in, you know.
The one time you leave those feet out there, something tickles your toes.
That's what I'm afraid of more. Like, I'm not afraid of something grabbing me. I'm afraid of something just tickling me. That would scare me more than just a grab.
Just, like, sucking them.
Yeah.
You get these wet, slobbering lips.
Yeah. And all you hear is like,
Yeah.
First off, I'd barf if anybody wants to be that close to my feet with their face. That's wrong.
That's disgusting. But I don't know what would be worse, tickling or a little lip smack?
Dude, it's got to be lip smack. I don't know, a tickle would freak me out, but a lip smack would just I feel like at that point, if it would be like some kind of like evil spirit, if he like sucked on my toe, I'd have to square up with him right then. Like, 'cause, like it's like that is not acceptable. Like tickling would scare me. Now it's like we have to fight. We have to throw down. I don't know.
Or probably, you know what would happen if like evil spirit, demonic spirit sucked on your toe? It would probably kill the spirit and take them officially take them down to the underworld.
Yeah, especially my nasty ass feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or my cheesy ass toes. Anyway.
Okay. I bet everybody thought they were going to hear about Corey's toe cheese today. Lucky you.
Yeah.
Lucky you came.
That's right.
Make sure. Give us a 5-star review whenever you're listening on.
Yeah. So I thought then, like, no wonder so many kids can't stop pissing to bed because they're too scared to get up.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
Thanks to Dad, who's actively getting it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I don't think it probably doesn't last that long.
Yeah.
What if they closed the door and they reminded them, like, hey, don't forget the hand, and they closed the door, they went back, and 2 minutes later they came back in. It's like, hey, hand's gone, you're fine.
Yeah. But Colombia folks take this legend to a whole other level because they say that this stupid hand not only comes from under the bed, but that it also comes through large windows, behind doors, and just like other places of the bedroom.
Yeah, so like, basically you're just screwed.
Yeah, you're screwed.
It can come any way it wants to.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant's hand.
Yeah, that's a big freaking hand.
Freaking right.
Like holding a soda can.
Yeah, imagine sucking those fingers.
Imagine him sucking those toes.
Ooh. And they want a peanut?
Yeah. And then there's some other versions in Colombia where this thing can come like just straight up out of the wall.
Okay, yeah, so you're screwed.
That's why you got to under your blankie.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah,
it's a force field. It's your protection.
You're right.
You know?
Yep.
Now we're going to talk about my favorite version, which is in Puebla, Mexico. and this one is different than the one from Colombia. So this version takes place in the year 1908 in Puebla, Mexico. A man named Senor Villa,
Oh, senor.
also known as Horta,
No inglés.
and his wife La Gangosa, they owned a pawn shop together. Now Horta, he was a short, heavy, hairy fella.
Ah. I mean, not short, but you're not heavy. But you are hairy. So I'm just picturing you, regardless. Just going to picture you after I just shove a cheesesteak in your face every day.
All right, let me change the description. So now Horta was a tall...
It's too late. It's already set.
Yeah,
it's already set.
You're right.
A tall, fine specimen of a man.
Graying in the beard.
Yeah.
More
up.
More and more every time I see
You're
him.
right. It is, man. It's bad.
The wisdom. Call that wisdom.
Yeah. I just can't wait till I get it. I feel like
I'm getting into my sideburns pretty bad.
Yeah, you are. Do you remember this gray started at fantasy football?
Yeah.
Like I had a little spot under here. So I whispered it to you at fantasy when we were doing the fantasy draft. It's like, dude, look at this. And you're like, damn.
Yeah, damn.
It's like, oh, thank you. I'm combing it back over now so you can't see it.
It was like a 10-year-old boy with a stash of porn. Like, hey, look at this.
Yeah, like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm picking Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
So Horta, this short, heavy, hairy prick, would wear many large, fancy rings on his fingers with precious stones. He had a terrible reputation and was known by many to be a horrible person. Some would call him a piece of shit.
Damn. I wouldn't call you that.
Horta would often flaunt his wealth, rip off his customers, and treat them with the uttermost disrespect. Never in his life did he ever commit a good deed. Locals in the area would oftentimes be heard saying, "Que Dios te secu la mana?"
Which translates to, do you see that prick? He took my money again.
Which translates to, "Please God, dry out his hand," as they walked by the pawn shop.
I guess dry it out, like no money in it. I was just thinking of like weird
I know,
ass
just
wrinkly
a
old
dry
man.
ass
Like,
hand.
ew.
Yeah.
Gross. Why does anybody want to see that?
Like a freaking sandpapery,
Yeah.
dry sponged up paw. When the son of a bitch Horta got old and died, God did in fact dry out his hand. Sometime after his death, the local newspaper in Puebla, Mexico, published a story where the gravekeeper told them that he would see a black, hairy hand with rings on the fingers coming out of Horta's grave pretty much every night. He reported that the severed hand would go out for a night on the town searching for victims where the hand would rip out their eyeballs and choke them to death.
I just picture him wearing the eyeballs on his fingers, like,
Yeah, just taking them back with him.
Yeah.
And after the hand was done getting its midnight snack, it would mosey on back to Horta's grave. And soon after the story was published, and even to this day, many report having experiences in their bedroom where this ghostly hand pulled them out of bed. Others have reported seeing this hand out in local communities, running around searching for its next victim.
Yeah.
Like, if you just imagine, you're just driving home from work one night,
Like
or
you're
whatever.
driving one way and the hand's just running the other.
Yeah. Like, holy shit.
Oh man, this is like the dumbest thing, but I always think of now. I mean, like an idle hand or whatever, just a single hand running around is weird enough. How's that son of a bitch see? That's what I always wonder.
Yeah.
Well, how's he see where he's going?
Yeah.
Like that's my biggest concern about this.
He has
hand.
a little like blind, like the stick that blind people have. He just has a little one in his fingertips.
He just uses his pinky as that when he goes.
Has a little toothpick or something. A little Q-tip.
Q-tip.
So yeah, that was like the big version in Mexico.
I like that. You said that was your favorite version.
I like that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like that
the
one
best because it gives it like a, an actual person scenario, things like that.
And stuff is always more fun when there's like a name.
Yeah, like a whole story behind it. All right, so now, we're gonna go. We haven't been here in a while.
We just went last week, didn't we?
Did we?
To Reddit?
Dude, I don't remember anything.
Yeah, we were
week.
just.
Dude, I'll be honest with you.
We haven't been here in a while. You literally quoted me last week when I said this. You know where we haven't been
I
in a while?
might have drank a little too much beer last week because
that's how I knew instantly what you were talking about.
I'm gonna be real. Like,
yeah.
I remember the topic you did.
What was the topic?
The faceless woman.
Okay.
But that's
it. You know what my favorite part last week was when I looked at you, and because we did like some. You had a baby on the way, you know. It was like close to the due date, so we like stacked a bunch. We recorded a bunch together, and what was it? So we just got the Flatwoods Monster just come out, and we were recording the Faceless Woman, and I was just like, yeah. And you know where we went last week, and you're just like, yeah, West Virginia. And I was like, try again, Corey. And you're like, nope, West Virginia. It's like, no, damn it. We were in Alaska. We're in Alaska, and we saw about the Alaskan Bigfoot. It was awesome. And you forgot about Beansy already. All right, let's just go to Reddit.
Let's just go to Reddit. Here, take us there.
Let's head to Reddit.
All right, we're back.
It's like we never left.
This first Reddit story, because I have a couple. I have like 3 Reddit stories here. This one's a little longer. The next 2 are like a paragraph. So, first Reddit user is Spooky Jen with 2 N's.
What up, Spooky Jen?
For those who grew up in Spanish households, you might have heard of the Mano Peluda. For those who have no idea, translated it means the hairy hand. Growing up, Spanish children are threatened to go to sleep or the Mano Peluda will get them. Behave well or the Mano Peluda will come. I am far too familiar with this threat. Now as an adult, I understand that it's a joke and it's meant to scare kids into behaving and sleeping. A few years ago, I was having a few drinks with my mom. I was 23 at the time and she was about 49, 50.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about my childhood and her methods of scaring me, and she told me about a creepy experience she had with the Mano Peluda. I will provide it below from her perspective. I was 10 years old at the time, living with my tia, Aunt Donna, so they call their aunt Tias. Like Tia means aunt.
Yeah, Tia, and Donna means hot Donna.
Hot Donna. Actually means dog.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Hot dog. Tia, Aunt Donna. I would never fall asleep alone. I simply never could. Living in Central America at the time meant no lights at night, and if you needed to use the bathroom, it is located outside of the house. We were renting a home that was attached to a circle of homes. Think of an apartment complex in the middle of these 10 separate apartments. There was a patio in the center. This was the only source of light at night. The light would lightly shine into my bedroom. My tia would fall asleep with me every night, but every morning she would be gone, which was fine by me because I wouldn't notice until morning. This specific night went as usual. We laid down and went to sleep. I woke up a few times later, only to find my tia gone. I tossed in bed, tried to get comfortable, when something caught my eye. Whatever it was seemed like it was floating in the corner of my room. I thought a bug or a beetle came in. It came closer to me, a bird. Then I saw the fingers. Fingers like any man would have, a human hand. I blinked several times, hoping I was dreaming or hallucinating. As it came closer, I noticed how hairy it was.
So the hand actually is, like, in the stories, it is a super hairy hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's the name, but...
Yeah. And have you ever actually seen, like, somebody that has, like, really hairy hands? Like, they're, like, up, like, you know, on
where
the fingers
they have,
and, like, you know, I don't think they're necessarily on the knuckle, but it's, like, you know, above, below.
Yeah,
like,
it's
fucking hairy.
I mean, my hands are not hairy at all, so it freaks me out.
Mine aren't hairy either.
Nice.
Yeah. Only place I don't have hair.
Yeah. That and his grundle.
Grundle?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. So as it came closer, I noticed how hairy it was. It wasn't crawling on the ground. It was hovering. It was a hand, only a hand from the wrist down.
It was a hand only a hand could love.
Yeah. It began to slowly make its way to me. I knew I wasn't imagining this. I remember how it separated the light from the darkness in the room as it came to me. I never yelled so loud in my life. Tia! Tia! I yelled and threw the blanket over my head.
Dude, that's how I was at scout camp.
Yeah. Daddy, daddy.
Yeah, fucking thumb scratch, man.
Thumb scratch.
Hey, cool.
Yeah.
That stuff still freaks me out. I think of thumb scratch.
I traumatized you with this episode.
Yeah, a little bit.
I heard footsteps down the hall and my aunt threw the door open.
What if she said, I heard hands down the hall? So it's like you heard the aunt, two hands.
Yeah. And she said, Miyaku?
Mi amo Miguel?
¿Qué? Mia, ¿qué? She asked. La mano peluda? I pointed. I looked up and the hand was gone. I cried and told her what happened, and obviously she didn't believe me. She searched her home with a bat in hand, assuming
Nice.
assuming a man might have broken in. She never found anything and let me sleep with her in her room that night. She never believed me that I saw it, and I will never forget what I saw.
Yeah, dude, I feel like, that'd be scary as hell.
And I think there's a little follow-up here. I've asked my mother about the story at least 5 different times. I asked her if now as an adult she thinks that maybe she was so scared she formed this imaginary thing out of fear because as a child she was always told to sleep or the Mano Peluda would come get her. She denies and says that it was 100% real. She gets goosebumps every time we talk about it. I wonder if anyone has ever seen something like this, if it appears the same way to everyone or modified to match the victim's imagination.
And that would make sense for it to be like slightly modified to scare you a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the severed hand is going to be scary enough.
Yeah. I think if one was just slithering on the ground, that would be scarier than one floating in the air.
For sure.
Yeah.
One floating in the air I don't think would scare me because I would want to know what's behind the float. Like I would feel like it's just somebody's actual still using their hand, but they're just invisible. But yeah, dude.
My door opens up. Well, it would be like you'd hear a loud because like the hand had to jump up.
Yeah, it would jump
open
up,
the door,
twist
fall
it,
down.
and then fall. Yeah, for sure. Dude, I don't know. Even talking about this, like the thing from Addams Family, having a hand run like that would be scary. But for some reason, like a thumb scratch should be like super scary to me because it's like
a zombie hand.
and it's just in pursuit.
Yeah.
Like there was an episode we talked about forever ago where we talked about It Follows, the movie, and basically the premise of that movie is it's like a sexually transmitted demon, but it always slowly follows you. Like it just walks after you all the time. That's like scarier in a way. Where did you ever hear so you were talking about the gorilla thing at the beginning of the episode?
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. Where something like the
snail
that's
there's
like following you
forever.
Yeah.
Like you basically have like there's always a snail that's going to kill you if it ever touches you.
Isn't it like you get like $20 million? Like it put some money on it. Like
yeah,
you
exactly.
get $20 million, but a snail is following.
Yeah, a snail's always trailing you. So, which I mean, a snail would be like super easy, but something that's walking, and in that movie, it's really cool because it doesn't look the same every time. You know what I mean? So it'd be like one time you would like look out in your yard and it would be me walking at you. But I would be like naked or something. Like that's how it is. Like slightly messed up and shit like that. But I don't know. They're just the pursuit of like the slow pursuit of a hand. I think would be scarier than like a fast hand.
Yeah, slow hand would be. Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Like you said, just that zombie.
The zombie yeah. We got 2 more Reddit stories here.
Let's head to Reddit.
We're already there.
Oh shit. My bad.
Let's stay at Reddit.
Let's head to Reddit.
This is user ST Matthew 1022.
Yo, what up, Saint Matthew 1222? I can't remember the numbers.
1022.
Yeah, shit.
It's all right. You're close.
I faded.
And this is only like 2 or 3 sentences, but I really liked it because it made me like chuckle.
2 or 3 sentences, I feel like sometimes are better than like 3 pages.
Yeah, because your like mind just like fills in the rest.
Yeah, for sure.
My brother saw a gray hand with long nails come out of our dad's stereo speaker years ago when he was a kid.
I don't know what it is about dad's stereo speaker that just made me crack up.
It wasn't hairy though. Our dad
And
said...
it wasn't a hand. It was a foot.
Yeah. Our dad said he used to play Black Sabbath through those speakers years before that, and he wondered if by listening to that, maybe something evil had been attracted to them.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you say with that?
It's just funny.
I don't know, it is funny. That's a good one.
Like, what are you listening to? And like, damn it, it's causing the devil.
Yeah.
Bringing the devil here to this house.
I have noticed. I think I texted you the one day. I have noticed my mood will change sometimes by the music that I listen to. So I always wonder if there's something to that, you know?
I know, like, when I worked with the juveniles, a lot of them would use, like, music as, like, a coping skill for them to calm down and stuff. But then they listen to, like, rap and stuff, and I'm like...
Yeah, why don't you listen to, like, something... Like, why don't you go listen to, like, Christian music or something?
They're listening to, like, you know, like, bitches
just
and
chill out,
hoes.
yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Here's Taylor Swift. Go chill out.
Yeah.
That was a good one, though, for, like... Yeah, I like that.
This next one, it's a little, it involves hands and stuff, but it's kind of different. But again, this one I was like, what the hell? Like this
is on like the porn section of Reddit. It's gonna be crazy. It involves a couple hands, just like 5, I think. They're all. It's weird. You know, listen. You have to listen.
I mean, the username too. I mean, I guess that would fit for this too. Like the scenario you just threw up. You_did_yourself.
Yep.
You did yourself.
That's it. Lots of hands. 2, to be precise.
And this story's taking us back to Alaska.
Oh, shit. Nice.
I grew up in Alaska and have always thought that it felt more paranormal there. When I was about 12, my friends and I were wandering in a forest near one of their houses, and suddenly there were a dozen or more disembodied black fuzzy hands and forearms. Best way to describe them, looked like fuzzy shadows, waving at us from various heights within the birch forest.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hello.
Could you imagine just looking over in the forest and you just see all these fucking hands?
Hi, how you doing? Because I picture the hands aren't like fully working correctly.
Yeah.
So it's like, hi, how you doing?
I was with 2 other kids at the time, and we all noticed them at the same time. We froze in place, and once the initial bewilderment wore off, we ran out of that forest as fast as we could. Once in a while, it feels like I can see one out of the corner of my eye, especially when the forests go quiet. That old forest is a shopping center now. I hope the hands found a new home. I believe they didn't intend to scare us, but it was shocking.
Yeah, right now they're in the aisle with the flour, and they're just kneading pizza dough all day.
Yeah.
That's all the hands know how to do is just knead dough.
Or those son of a bitches workers just have to keep cleaning up flour because those hands are just throwing it everywhere.
Well, they're not good at what they do. I never said they were going to be good at making pizza dough.
Yeah. Clean up on aisle 7 again.
Yeah. The freaking hands are at it again.
That's it for Reddit.
That was good. Reddit's always fun.
Now we're getting into... So when I was doing this research on the hairy hand, I came across another hands legend in England that I thought was, I don't know, I thought it was kind of interesting at least. So I threw it on here.
Princess Diana's hand. It'll come to you in the middle of the night, and it'll give you 5 shillings.
Ooh.
But only if you promise to... The hand, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned... Yeah, okay. Yeah, the hand. That makes sense. Yeah. You shake the hand. That's it.
Yeah.
5 shillings. I did not get 5 shillings. I shook the wrong thing. Just saying.
Also, it's a hand. What else could you shake?
Myself. At it.
Yeah, myself.
Yeah.
You just put the hand... Never mind.
Yeah. Don't worry about this.
Yeah.
Don't ask questions you don't actually want to know.
So like I said, this hairy hands legend takes place in England, in Dartmoor, England, and it involves a stretch of road called B3212, which is in a remote area of the county of Devon. This area has seen a large number of motor vehicle accidents since the start of the 20th century. However, most of these aren't your typical accidents.
Bum bum dun 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 dun.
The legend states that many people have reported seeing a pair of ghostly hands, hairy hands,
So they are like talked about being hairy.
They are hairy hands,
Okay.
yeah, but it's like a ghostly pair of hairy hands that suddenly appear and grab a hold of the steering wheel, or in some cases handlebars of motorcycles. And the hands are reportedly so strong that people are unable to gain control of their vehicles, as these ghostly hands are trying to take them off the road and send them to their demise.
Good Lord. That's not Princess Diana.
Well, maybe that's how she...
Well, all right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big that's a big conspiracy, man.
Yeah,
It's a whole thing. We need to get into more conspiracies,
we do,
man.
Dude, I
got one day I'm just gonna dress up like Charlie from Always Sunny in that conspiracy.
Yeah.
And that's how I'm just gonna tell a whole
Just come in
episode
with a bunch
to
of
you.
whiteboards.
Yeah,
just throw 'em-
everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
There was one incident that occurred in 1921 when a fella by the name of Dr. E.H. Helby, who was a medical officer at the nearby Dartmoor prison, he was driving on the road on his motorcycle with his 2 children attached in the sidecar.
Man, the 20s were a wild time.
Yeah. So he had his kids attached to the sidecar of his motorcycle.
I just picture he had him like ratchet strapped to it too.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
actually in it.
Yeah. All of a sudden, he saw these ghostly hands appear that tried to take his motorcycle off the road. He yelled to his children that he was fighting with an invisible force.
Hold on, y'all. I got shit to do up here. I guess he would be like, he'd be more British than that.
Yeah.
Well, hold on to your biscuits, y'all.
I'm fighting with Casper.
Yeah.
I don't know why I went really south there.
Oh my.
Son of a bitch.
We're done. We can't do British.
No, I go straight.
Quickly move on. Quickly
Yeah.
move on.
So he told his children he was fighting with his invisible force as he was trying to gain control of his motorcycle. He told his children to jump out of the sidecar, and right after they did, Dr. E.H. Helby crashed and died.
Oh, shit. I didn't see that coming.
And there were many other stories throughout the 20th century of similar situations. I saw some stories that went all the way up to the 1980s to even the early 2000s. There's been some theories to this one, such as the road where these accidents occur just not being very lit up with lights. The road is very narrow and winding, and there's a lot of pubs in the area.
Well, yeah. It makes sense.
So maybe some drunk driving going on.
Oh, we've all been there.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Driving my motorcycle with my children attached to the side. Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. Try to avoid it if I can.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
Make sure their helmets are on though.
Yeah, and semi-strapped on.
But that was the hairy hands ghost story from England that I thought was not the same as the hairy hands.
Those English people always keep us on our feet, though, don't
Yeah.
they, Corey?
They do.
And they don't keep their wheels on the road.
Can't keep their hands off the stuff.
My gosh.
Hands. We're talking about hands.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So now, going on to the folk
Lore.
Score.
Hoo-hoo-hoo. All right, we're back. Folklore score is out. Corey, do you think is it taking down the Boo Hag at number 10?
I don't think it's taken down to Boo Hag, which sits at a 60.
I think I might have had too much beer tonight because I feel like my score is way too high for this thing, but I am in.
Let's unveil the scores. What do you got?
I gave it a 54 out of 50. I'm just kidding. I gave it a 31.
I gave it a 25.
Yeah, it was close. It was close. It gave a good run.
Yeah.
It would have beat the Boo Hag, but Corey's a douchebag and
Son of a
apparently
bitch.
didn't give it enough points. It is what it
I
is.
guess not.
It's what it is.
Son of a bitch. Redo this? Just kidding.
Yeah. So what's that put it at? 56?
Yeah.
Not a good. 31.
Yeah.
56.
56.
First 50. Can't beat that. So we'll dive down through these scores. If you're not sure what our folklore score is, we have our top 10 folklore, tales, urban legends, whatever. Krampus 1, Dolls 2, Kraken 3, Mothman 4, tie at 5, Black-Eyed Kids and Ouija board. Then we have Bloody Mary, Hookman, Hatman, and the Boo Hag. And basically, we're answering 5 questions on a scale of 1 to 10. So the best score we can give is a 50 each. Add those up.
Smush them together.
Yeah, we smush them together, and Boo Hag's sitting at 60. And we've been actively trying to get her off the board for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know. She just doesn't do it for me.
She's hanging on there like a boob tag.
She's a sex witch, though, so it could do it. If you don't know about the Boo Hag, go back to episode, I don't know, like 15.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Something like that.
We haven't changed that board in a long time.
Since Ouija board. That was the last one that went up
Yeah.
there. Do you remember how long it took me to change it? Because I couldn't get a napkin to erase it good enough. I'm over there in the side of your basement by myself while you're setting up everything down here. And I'm just like, yeah, I can't get this board to go good.
We'll just wait till the next time we have to change it because that shit's been getting hard.
Yeah, it's just getting crusty.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down through our scores. So spookiness, I gave it a 7.
Gave it a 5.
I think a hand's spooky as hell. Thumb scratch, man. What about historical and cultural significance?
I gave it a 5.
I gave it a 7. At the down Central America, I guess it was popular. Believability, I gave it a 2.
Gave it a 3.
Yeah, just it's a hand.
Yeah, it's a hand.
Uniqueness, I gave it a 9.
I gave it a 7.
I don't. How you gonna beat just a wandering hand?
Yeah, I mean, a foot.
Oh, ooh,
Maybe
gross.
if we had some other
barf.
other body parts running around.
Fucking barf
A
if it's a
wiener?
foot. A wiener.
A nose?
I think I'd rather have a wiener come at me than a foot.
Yeah, dude, I don't like feet.
Yeah, freaking nasty
Yeah,
ass feet.
I don't like my own. Like, if I could cut off my feet and just hop around on nubs,
You could.
I would.
There's nothing to say you can't do that.
It would suck.
Well, yeah, it's not going to be good.
I'd have some cheesy nubs then instead of my cheesy
nubs.
toes.
Gosh, why you got to keep throwing the cheese out there?
I like to keep the theme going.
Threat level, I gave it a 6.
I gave her a 5.
So, with a 31 and a 26,
25.
25. Damn, that does not take her high enough. 56. It's not going to make the board for the hairy hands, but it's still fun.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
And with that, Mike's dumb.
It's too early. Quit doing that.
I just do it so you can't cut it. I mean, I guess you could cut it out regardless.
Yeah, I
but
will. Corey's stupid.
Mike's,
Anyways,
yeah.
make sure to follow us on social media. I know I said it earlier. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, at Kraken Cans Cast. And if you have something really good you want us to talk about, make sure to email us at krakencanscast@gmail.com.
You got it right, folks.
I got it right.
First time.
No, second time.
Okay.
Yeah, I nailed it that one time. I was thrilled. And then the next time I just totally butchered it.
Give us a
didn't say
website
word.
that we don't even have.
Yeah, you didn't say a word, and we just went with it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's in the Alaska episode. I said it totally wrong. So yeah, we really like fan emails. So email us.
And with that, Corey with an E is out. Mike's dumb.
And I'm Mike, and I'm out of here. And it's BK Corey. That stands for Butt Crack and Corey Stupid.